Welcome to the Explainer, everyone. We're just going to skip the usual agenda today because, honestly, I am way too excited. We are jumping right into the heart of a truly thrilling sci-fi mystery. We're going to break down the mechanics of a covert extraterrestrial plot hidden in plain sight, using the brilliant narrative architecture of the cult classic film The Arrival. Okay, let's dive right into this. What if global warming wasn't just some accident of human industry, but a meticulously planned alien invasion, right? That is the terrifying premise that hooks us from the absolute start. Because instead of your standard flying saucers and laser beams, these invaders are actually weaponizing our own environmental negligence against us. It's such a fascinating twist on the whole invasion trope. And to really understand how they're pulling it off, we need to look at the data. Phase 1. The Wolf 336 Anomaly. Let me introduce you to Zane Zeminski. He's a brilliant, incredibly dedicated, and, slightly paranoid radio astronomer for SETI. He basically spends his nights methodically searching for a tiny needle and a massive haystack of cosmic noise. That is, until his software detects the literal impossible. 42 seconds. This right here is the inciting incident of our entire explainer. Amidst all the endless radio static and cosmic interference, Zane's equipment registers a massive peak maximum. It's this perfectly symmetrical, modulated radio signal that undeniably does not come from Earth. And this absolute undeniable proof of alien life? It lasts for exactly 42 seconds before just vanishing completely from the 107 megahertz frequency. So where exactly did those 42 seconds of proof originate? Well, exactly 14.6 light-years away at a class F star known as Wolf 336. And what makes this so compelling, what really grounds this mystery and hard science, is that Wolf 336 has actually been experiencing severe instability for the last 50 years. The star is literally expanding and contracting, which means any life form living there would be getting pretty desperate to survive. I mean, it's the absolute perfect motivation for an interstellar SOS, or, as we'll find out, an evacuation plan. But, of course, just as Zane makes literally the greatest discovery in human history, we hit a massive roadblock: the institutional cover-up. Zane takes his tapes straight to his boss at JPL, Phil Gordian. But instead of organizing a global press conference, Gordian fires Zane. He claims it's all due to a sudden 20% budget reduction and that, apparently, aliens just aren't a government priority right now. But it gets worse. Gordian seizes the recording of the signal and entirely gaslights Zane, claiming the data was faked just to save his job. So now, Zane is locked out, completely discredited, and totally alone. Which brings us to Phase 2, the Earth bounce. Now, fired and desperate, Zane doesn't just give up. He improvises. In true, glorious 90s sci-fi fashion, he poses as a TV repairman. He secretly wires all his neighbors' satellite dishes into this massive, makeshift phased array radio antenna right up in his attic. He is absolutely determined to catch that signal again. And this brilliantly illustrates the turning point of our explainer. When Zane's makeshift array finally does catch the signal again, he discovers something totally baffling. Two identical signals. The exact same highly structured alien imprint broadcasting from the star Wolf 336 is also bouncing back from right here on Earth. Specifically, it's broadcasting from a random radio station down in Mexico. The aliens aren't just out there. They are already here, and they're communicating with their homeworld. So Zane tracks this Earth-based signal down to a rural town in Mexico, where he quite literally bumps into climate scientist Ilana Green. Now, Ilana has been tracking her own terrifying data set: unprecedented hurricanes in the Gulf, severe drought in Sudan, melting ice up in the Arctic. To the untrained eye, sure, these just look like random weather events. But Ilana's data proves they are actually forming a highly coordinated, catastrophic global pattern. And the real impossibility of Ilana's data is just staggering. Her atmospheric readings from weather balloons and field stations show a mind-bending 700% increase in greenhouse trace gases over just the last 5 years. And they're specifically concentrated in areas like Mexico, Ecuador, and Brazil. A jump this massive in such a tiny time window, that simply cannot happen naturally. There absolutely has to be an artificial, highly engineered cause driving this hyper-accelerated warming. This massive environmental damage leads us straight to a corporate front called Planicorp. Zane and Ilana uncover that this mysterious company, which is flushed with cash from American pension funds, has been quietly building or rehabilitating 20 massive thermal power plants. And where exactly are they building them? Exclusively in third world countries where clean air laws and environmental regulations simply don't exist. All right, Phase 3, The reveal. This is the horrifying intersection where Zane's rogue astronomy and Ilana's alarming climate data violently collide. These power plants aren't just burning dirty fuel for a quick profit. And the aliens aren't just hiding here. They are actively using these facilities to systematically cook our planet.
So, the crucial concept here is terraforming, the deliberate modification of a planet's atmosphere and temperature to make it habitable. Only in this case, we aren't terraforming Mars for humans. The aliens are terraforming Earth for themselves because their own star, Wolf 336, is dying. They happen to love the heat, and so they are re-engineering our environment to perfectly match theirs.
And their multi-phase master plan happens in 4 devastating steps. First, build high-emission power plants and disguise them as regular human industry. Second, pump out enough greenhouse gases to melt the polar ice caps, effectively sweeping away all our agriculture. Third, form a critical mass atmosphere. See, once the ice is gone, the atmosphere becomes denser, and the warming turns into a self-sustaining runaway reaction. We're talking a terrifying 12 degrees Celsius jump over a single decade. Finally, step 4. Colonize the newly heated, perfectly human-free Earth. Just listen to this chilling admission from Phil Gordian, Zane's former boss, who we find out is actually one of the alien infiltrators. He says, "You increase the greenhouse effect? You are dead. We're finishing what you started." Man, that escalates the stakes to absolute life or death. The true horror of this invasion isn't just that we are being conquered. It's that the aliens simply weaponized humanity's own pollution and greed against us. They literally just stepped on the gas pedal of a car we were already driving straight off a cliff.
Phase 4. Broadcasting the truth. With Ilana tragically assassinated by the aliens, Zane realizes that humanity has to know what's happening. He infiltrates a heavily guarded radio observatory in this desperate, high-stakes race to hijack a massive satellite dish before Gordian's alien hitmen can take him out.
In a stroke of pure, desperate genius, Zane breaks into the control room and utilizes 100,000 watts of transmission power to force a live feed. He broadcasts his video evidence of the alien terraforming facilities directly to 50 television channels all simultaneously. With that kind of raw power, they can't cover it up and the world can't look away. The truth is finally out there. As we process that thrilling climax, I want to draw your attention back to Gordian's brutal assessment. You are incapable of maintaining this planet. You do not deserve to live there. Even though this is a sci-fi thriller, it so cleverly uses the alien antagonist to deliver a very real, very grounded thematic warning. It forces us to take a hard look in the mirror. The aliens saw a species recklessly destroying its own biosphere and simply decided to take over the lease. Which leaves us with one final lingering question. Who do we trust with the stewardship of our planet? The arrival isn't just about an alien invasion. It's actually a stark explainer on environmental responsibility, wrapped up in a phenomenal sci-fi mystery. It asks us to take a really hard look at our climate data and the choices we make today. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, everyone. Keep questioning the data, keep looking up at the stars, and I will see you